So a few weeks ago in a community post I asked you guys what your favorite unrated extreme demon is. Whether it was an almost top 1 or a shitpost level that you thought would be funny to comment. And so today I have compiled a list of the 10 most frequently mentioned extreme demons in that community post. And then I shifted some around based on my own personal opinion because it's my video and you can't stop me. If you enjoyed today's video, please do not forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying really hard to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I promise I'll upload more than like once every 3 years. Anyways, comment down below your favorite unrated extreme demon that you think deserves a rate. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So starting off at number 10 with a level that is for sure never going to get rated is Cobwebs. I knew as soon as I decided to make this video that this level was 100% going to be in it, because despite the fact it's a challenge level with like 28 seconds of gameplay and therefore would like never be rated, it pulls an Arcturus and has like 2 seconds of a black screen, meaning that it technically can't be considered a challenge and be placed on the challenge list. But it is still incredibly difficult and would have placed somewhere in the top 10 likely, had it been rated back in 2022 when it was originally verified. The practicality of robtop ever actually rating this aside, I do think it would be pretty cool to see a really short level like this rated out of nowhere. I don't usually like the more challenge gameplay-esque top ones because it's incredibly inaccessible to top players that aren't like genetically cracked at the game, which is why I tend to like top ones like Zodiac and Tidal Wave a lot more. But like, it'd still be cool to see this get rated. To maintain consistency with the current rating standards, it definitely will never be rated, but it would at least be something funny to think about. Kind of in a similar vein to VSC being rated hypothetically, which also was a sizable number of replies to this community post. At number 9, we have a demon that a lot of you probably haven't heard of, and that is Dex Dark. Dex Dark is a really artsy level that I find really intriguing and is pretty obviously a lot more minimalist, and therefore it's like a very much a toss-up on whether it will be rated ever. I personally think this absolutely should be rated because in terms of having like incredibly optimized designs while keeping the level interesting, this level definitely does a really good job. Also, it's a Yuko level, so I am mandated by law to like it. And also, just generally speaking, the theming and decoration, outside of its uniqueness, I think should be at least rate-worthy. I don't know about necessarily feature or epic or anything like that, but it's a finished level with a cohesive style, so it deserves a rate in my book. Also, Yuko's an underrated creator anyways. Next up at number 8, we have Eric's, which is the funniest addition to this list for me, because I followed this level's development since it was announced, and it seems like I was probably the only one who did that. For those who don't know, this was announced a couple years ago by Zanny, who was hosting the level, taking some inspiration from Slaughterhouse, which you can kind of see in the gameplay structure, and it went from back then being a potential upcoming top 1 to where it is today in that it's been verified, nobody remembers that it exists, and the verification video has like 5,000 views on YouTube. Like, we went from potential top 1 to less downloads than Detroit Circles. And if you're asking where all of the potential that this level had went, the answer to that question, like so many others, is that Zanny fucking ate it. Aside from that, this level is generally pretty cool, and I think it deserves more love and attention that it's gotten. Next up at number 7, we have Eternal Weight Gain. This is what happens when I make Zanny jokes. Eternal Theory is like this comically super buffed version of Theory of Everything 2. And the decoration honestly isn't that bad, but I can definitely see why this level hasn't been rated, because it doesn't necessarily stand out in anything except for difficulty, but a lot of you seem to think that this is rate-worthy, and honestly, I mean, it's not that bad. There's definitely worse stuff on a list that's been rated. This isn't like top 1, but it's definitely pretty far up there, so it probably caused some drama, but it's pretty clear this level wasn't made to rake in a bunch of money anyways, so it probably wouldn't really piss me off that much. At number 6, we probably have the ugliest level on the list, and that is Through the Gates, which is a very, very difficult level that Slink just decided to verify because he does that, and a lot of you think that this definitely should have been rated, in sort of like a thinking space situation. In my opinion, to maintain consistency with robtop rating thinking space, it would make sense to rate Through the Gates, but he's managed to get away without rating it and causing a bunch of controversy for this long, so let's just keep it up. At number 5, we have Rain by Farah, the possible version. Fun fact, the last time I did this video idea was in 2022, during the summer, and Rain was on that list as well. It's been over 2 years, and it still has not been rated. Probably never will be, but I do still think that this level very much deserves a rate, and it seems that a lot of other people think that as well. Is it themed like an emo Bart Simpson edit on Twitter? Yes. Is it well decorated? Yeah. This is the exact case for like half the demon list. I don't know why this isn't rated. But Wavix, it has a nong. I don't fucking care. At number 4, we have Exosphere by Doggie and More. You know, that huge 3-minute collab that's themed after the Creo music videos? That's like really, really good and a lot of people think is like really outstanding. Yeah, somehow it's still not rated. You're never gonna guess why. It's because it has a Nong! If you're wondering why does it have a Nong, isn't Exosphere on Newgrounds? This level started so early in its production process, as in this level took so long to make that when this level was started, I'm pretty sure Exosphere wasn't actually on Newgrounds. Unless I am woefully misinformed, this could literally just be replaced like right now and then it would probably get rated. But then again, this level is also old enough that Krazen has a part, if I recall correctly, which is, never mind, Viprin's into that shit. At number 3, we have Centipede, which showed up a lot in the replies to my community post. I personally would have ranked it a lot lower because levels like Exosphere and Rain are like fully fledged out levels with much more complicated design patterns. Like, it would still be cool to see Centipede rated, but I think the only reason it got mentioned this many times is because I literally made a video on it. So yeah, it breaks the top 3. So for the final 2 additions to the list, there are 2 very, very, very cool levels from completely different eras of the game. Number 2, I'm pretty sure is going to get rated at some point, at least that would be my guess, given it's relatively a much more recent verification. And the demon at number 1 is very much one that got completely robbed, because it could have been top 1, but it is likely it will never get rated. At number 2, we have Based After Base, which is an extreme demon that uses 0 spikes. Despite the fact there are probably some fairly lazy ways to get around this gimmick, this level does do a lot of really creative stuff with the idea of not having any spikes in the level, and I think the decoration is pretty decent. If it was rated, it would also be the first insane or extreme demon that has Base After Base as its song. Editors note it would actually be the 3rd extreme demon, the other 2 being the Hell Tribute and Chill Putty, and it's likely it would place somewhere in the top 10, which would be really cool. And finally, for the number 1 extreme demon that did show up a lot on the community post, that I absolutely agree should have been rated, even though it probably never will be now, is Diabolic Clubstep. For those who don't know, GMD Blue made a really, really good video on the history of this level, but to summarize, this is an old impossible level that a player by the name of Seven revamped and redecorated to be a solo top 1 extreme demon. The problem is that this level largely flew under the radar, and on top of that, the decoration isn't necessarily outstanding, especially because what it was working off of was not necessarily the greatest level of all time, as old impossible levels tend to be, and it was a one-man show. We didn't have AP team redecorating this. So despite the fact it probably would have dethroned Tartarus, this level was never rated, and it probably still never will be. This, along with Base After Base, were the 2 most mentioned levels in the replies to the post, but I put this one above because this is a level that should have been top 1 and remembered more in the community because of its difficulty and of course it being like, you know, the hardest achievement in the game or whatever. And it still kind of saddens me that this level basically just kind of got robbed. There's tons of other levels too from like the Tartarus era that could have very much been the one to dethrone it, like Oblivion, which got rated way later, or Firework, obviously, because Space UK hacked Slaughterhouse. Fun fact, Slaughterhouse was verified, or quote-unquote verified, over 3 years ago now. So yeah, that's it for the list and for today's video. If you did enjoy, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a ton. It'd be very much appreciated. I do actually plan on uploading more than like once every 300 years. You should subscribe to stick around for that. If you'd like to, you can go to the link in my description to join the Discord server, or click on the buttons on the end screen now to go see another video. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay safe, everyone. Goodbye!